reputation management is going to be your best tool that you can wield in this environment, regardless of the new strategies that are coming out. You're selling an experience. You're selling comfort. You're selling ease.
Welcome to the Strategy with Jason podcast. Tune in for everything you need to know to stay in the know regarding the automotive industry. Here's your host, Jason Harris.
Hey, what's going on, Podcast Nation? It is Jason Harris here, and thank you for joining me on another episode of The Drive. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. I know, right? No, but I'm here at the Kain Automotive event. I have a great guest with me. I have Hiba with Rosace Enterprises. Hiba, how you doing?
You said it right. Hi.
Did I say it right?
Yeah.
I bet you a lot of people don't say it right.
No.
I practiced it about a dozen times in my head before I said it.
You did great.
Well, Hiba, thanks for taking the time to come jam with me. Even though it's a rainy day, like the Kain Automotive event is one of my favorite events every single year. I really love the ratio of dealers to vendors and just kind of the collaborative nature that David brings to events. So it's a lot of fun. And I'm glad we got a chance to connect and we get to go for this cool drive. So, Hiba, this is how I like to kind of kick off podcasts. I like to kick them off with a little origin story because, A, I'm just fascinated. Because I don't think anybody just wakes up one day and goes, yeah, I'm going to spend career in the automotive industry because that sounds like a good idea. No, I'm just kidding. It is a good idea.
It is.
But for everybody out there watching and listening, how did you get started in this crazy little world that we call the automotive industry?
Yeah, well, thank you. I did not wake up saying, hey, I want to work in automotive. So automotive was handed to me as a punishment for my higher ups at a company that I worked for. When I say punishment, I mean like I killed it in the verticals that I was placed in. I broke the comp plans. Mm-hmm. And it was simply because like I wanted to understand the buyer and I wanted to make those connections and relationships. I was terrified actually of automotive at first. A little intimidating? Yeah, oh yeah. My first car buying experience wasn't the best. I just graduated nursing school and I wanted my first vehicle. I went in, we have an auto mile in Cleveland where I'm from, and it's not known for like having like the best experience, but it's good for like people that are looking on a budget. And I just graduated nursing school and I was looking for something that was not only affordable but also like fit my day-to-day. And as a nurse I was driving around seeing patients and I wanted something that was comfortable. So I like found something within my budget. The car that I originally went out to get like didn't they couldn't let me leave the lot with it because they didn't certify it properly. And and the transmission, it was an Audi and the transmission wasn't working properly. So they said that it was going to cost more than the car to fix the situation. And I was just like, then why did you guys even show it to me? You know what I mean? Like, why did I even take it on?
It sounds like a great first experience.
Yeah, why did I even take it on the test drive then if it wasn't, serviced properly? And you see the pain point and the frustration there. Mm-hmm. So that was the last time I walked into a dealership after I purchased my vehicle that I ended up with. So I went in for an Audi and they sent me home in a Prius because it was price range.
All right, fair enough.
And I was like, God bless. So I didn't want the Prius, but I understood that like I needed something. I wanted the tech. I wanted like the backup camera. I wanted the functionality and the fuel economy. So it actually worked out really well. I called her Libby. It means like little,
Libby.
Yeah.
I love it.
Little bitch. You could probably cut that out.
That's the soundbite right there.
Right there. Yeah. So Libby lasted quite some time, and I was able to like kind of like use that vehicle to not only fuel like my sales career, but like build upon that because fuel economy was great. But when I started growing my family, I needed to like look at different options. So a little bit about me: I'm a mother of 3. My twins are 7. My oldest is 10. And I started my career in sales and automotive in 2016. Mm-hmm. So right when I found out I was pregnant with twins, I had to like figure out like something different in my my landscape. And I was working for a large organization that didn't understand why they were still, in business, is how it felt. And they lost passion of connecting their customers, which were like business to business based relationships,
sure,
with what they needed in solutions. And as a nurse, I had that like care factor and approach, and I fell in love with my clients. My clients were unsung heroes, and I feel like there's not a lot of light shed on automotive dealers and dealer principals that own businesses. They're either like one, you either are born into it or you fall in love with it.
You fall in love with it. Once it gets
Yeah.
in your blood, it's very difficult to get out of it. And you know, look, the automotive industry is an interesting one, right? Because it's every possible walk of life that you could think of. I mean, I know owners that started pumping gas at gas stations. I know owners that have multiple MBAs. I know one who just recently dropped out of high school and was selling weed. You know?
Yeah, literally. I mean, all walks of life, but at the end of the day, even that weed dealer that deals is a dealer, but he understands his customer base and he understands like supply chain. So I try to like, you know, bring it back to the basics in business. So what I enjoyed about my punishment in the automotive sector was that like I got to meet some genuine individuals
that
are like
very genuine individuals. That's the best part about this business.
And sometimes their passion comes off differently, but at the end of the day, I think that these unsung heroes need not only a voice, but a person that is in their corner that has a skill set like mine, where I'm able to like dial it back, look at business structures, and look at the way that like we organize plans.
It's all about strategy.
Yeah.
And that's actually kind of perfect segue into what you currently do right now. You're this strategic partner. So let's kind of break that down actually, I think, for the audience. Let's, strategic partner, what are kind of the 2 or 3 specific areas that you kind of specialize in, and how do you support the dealers that way?
Yeah, good question. So the difference between myself and other agencies out there, I'm more of a consultancy. So I'm by the dealer for the dealer. I do have those higher level connections with different providers. And when I say providers or vendors, I mean the ones that service the products that you use to content your marketing plan. So the best part about what we do at Rosace is that we're able to take a dealership that has several different departments and streamline their solutions and look at their plan from a holistic, 10-foot view. So I'm looking at, do I have the right vendor in the right place? Are they scope creeping in areas where they shouldn't be? And is your team like, is their bandwidth not placed in the right direction? So if you're looking at a internet manager, that internet manager sometimes doesn't have the same marketing skill set that someone like myself would have.
Sure.
Or a GM, you're asking this person to make decisions that are less informed and making $1 million decisions on a regular basis. And then also taking your voice and being that first contact point to your future customers.
Is that kind of the first step then for you? You kind of come in, kind of audit the people. I mean, we are a people business. We've been saying that for decades. Yeah. But our people have some amazing strengths, and you can't be the jack of all trades and master of none. So that's your kind of first step. You can do the audit of everybody and figure out from there strategically how do you need to move forward.
I like to observe, and the first thing that I do is in any capacity when a GM comes to me or a dealer comes to me and says, "Hey Hiba, I've got this going on. Yes, this is a symptom of your problem. Let's get down to the root cause." So that nursing background kind of comes into play. I like to make sure that I'm seeing the symptoms. I'm hearing you. I understand where you're going, what you're going through. I know those pain points. I also know what it's like having that pressure on you as an owner, and understanding that you have mouths to feed, you have people to take care of, but you need to figure out your customer base. You think more about your customers than they think of you. And unfortunately, you're thinking so much, but you're lacking the connection. So I help my team streamline their message, build those meaningful relationships, and understand what those providers are bringing to the table.
I'm curious because we're in an interesting time right now in the automotive industry. It feels like, honestly, we're always in an interesting time. This is the one thing I love about this industry is it will always be a curveball. You will never expect what's going to be coming up next, and it keeps you on your toes. You have to be a little bit of a chaos junkie to be in this business.
Oh, you do.
So I'm just kind of curious from your perspective. what are maybe, 2 or 3 things that dealerships should be really focusing on right now, just kind of given the current, climate and economic changes?
Okay. So first and foremost is your your delivery process, your
Mm.
engagement process with those customers. If you can't
'Cause
win
that's
in
what kicks off that long-range
yeah,
strategy. Yeah.
if you can't win in person, how is that message going to be translated online?
Hmm.
So understanding the fact that you need to make sure that you're dialing it back, going back to the basics, doing that business evaluation, focusing on how, like, what are my goals with this business?
Mm.
Am I just here to move metal, or what is the purpose? Is this transactional? Yes, it can be, but you want that loyalty. You want that reoccurring customer base. You don't want just to like focus on the one segment that's not growing your business. So, are you relationship based within your community? Do you have aspects that you would like to
The why.
reinforce? The why.
Yes. No,
Yeah.
that's a good point. I mean, because look, I mean, there are dealers who've been in business for many, many years and never
Right.
figured this out. And then there's some amazing operators that have figured this out and truly owned it. And
Yeah.
it's not just part of their, hey, this is when they get to the dealership, find out, but like it's a part of everything. I mean, look, from a consumer's perspective, we all know what you do. You got a 30-foot sign out front that says what you do, but
Yeah.
why you do it the way you do it
Exactly.
is super unique. So you kind of help them kind of find that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you hit the nail on the head. Finding that why, that purpose, and making sure that your efforts are done to support your purpose. So, it's not about just taking a flyer and saying, okay, well, my marketing's not working. Well, is it your marketing that's not working, or is it your message that you're displaying? Where are you putting that message? Are you meeting your customers where they're at? Are you looking at their buying patterns, their trends? Do you know what your audience is craving in a relationship from you?
Yes.
Or have you let Amazon and the other retailers dictate to your customers how to receive the care that you're giving? Your customer service is something that you are in control of. And I work a lot with aging dealership owners. I have a passion to, not only like help them understand like an exit strategy, or help them understand like what they would like to see, but like how to foster that actual connection, and dialing back all of like, the glitz and glam, and focusing on the real, core of your business. A lot of my dealers, I always remember Ken Schneider. He was the owner and founder of one of the founders of Metro Toyota and Strong Partners. I always remember him saying, "Hiba, you're my favorite pain in the ass," and he tells that to everybody. But they truly love what I do, because some of the things that like I uncover the issues and like the root problems, they're painful. They are.
Oh, for sure.
And some of the correction needs to happen from the top before it's implemented throughout.
Well, and I think that's a smart strategy, that you're doing that prior to even getting into marketing at all.
Right.
Because if you don't have alignment in the why you do the things the way you do, not just what you do.
Yeah.
Again, that's an easy one. Why you do it the way you do it is because people find that out after they've done business with you.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why they stick around. But if they don't know before they do business with you, then there's no differentiating factor between you and all the other competition out there. So okay, so you define that, you break that down. Now you move on to sculpting the message, I assume, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So that's the next phase. So I call it my flight plans. I'm very process oriented, and I love being able to not only have milestones and success metrics, but also being able to fix as I go. So sometimes the biggest thing is like I don't like to just look for the problems. I like to figure out what they're doing right, and kind of I like to say pour fuel on the fire. You know?
Yeah, put a little spotlight on it.
Put a little spotlight on it.
Yeah.
If you're doing something great, then let's ignite that. Let's get that differentiator going, and maybe we need to realign our SEO or our SEM. Maybe things aren't in tandem. Let's focus on making sure our channels are firing properly.
Mm-hmm.
I do have owned and operated products that I have within my scope at Rosace, but those owned and operated products are there to set the ground floor. We're here to make the baseline work properly so that we can find a solution set with a provider that can do it better than Hiba. And you want someone that can do it better than me. And I want to be able to get in on that ground floor and set the tone, so then I can have someone come in and not I don't want anyone to fuck it up. I want them to like pour fuel on that fire.
Yeah, you want to create that structure so they
blow
can continue to grow even if you're not there.
And blow
That's
that
cool.
apart. Yeah. So I want to be able to, I kind of, I am a mother, so I look at it like I've got a toy box with all of these different things, and I'm here segmenting each one of these areas. So if the if the operations need to be looked at, let's look at operations holistically. Your dealership is one of the strongest points in communities in some respects. People look at you for safety. A car is just not an accessory. A car is a way to promote lifestyle, a way to it's a status symbol too. So you're at any dealership now, average cost per vehicle is around $30,000 for a basic vehicle. So could you imagine, this is like the second largest purchase that someone is making next to a house. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, think about it from that perspective.
And how does that, how are they going to kind of enter in through that funnel?
Right.
And ultimately, how are they going to exit into the dealership and continue the process through there? Okay, so now
reputation management.
Exactly, reputation management. Okay, so now you kind of have your message crafted. Now let's kind of get into kind of the media mix, because I'm fascinated, because I think everybody kind of has their own approach to it. I don't think there's any wrong or right one, but I'd love to kind of get your strategic approach to the media mix and content, and so on.
Yeah. Okay. So this actually tees up the part of the flight plan. So we look at operations, we look at the different media purchases, and are they aligning with not only your audience that you're looking for, your sustainable customer base. What does your average shopper look like? Each climate is different. So each dealership has uniqueness and ability to hone in on a sustainable customer base. If you're subprime, you're going after that subprime market, but make sure your placements are proper. Make sure your message is direct. I recently listened to someone talking about how the digital age, the people within the Generation X and prior have different vernacular, different ways of speaking, and understanding that your customer base is growing, and the average age definitely is changing, unless you have the grandmas that just buy the Corollas and that's their last car. But even with that, you're capturing that second generation or that third generation.
Yep.
The messaging needs to make sense cross-platform and not isolate just one specific target. If you're going after,
it's not one size fits all. There's no one size fits all of this.
No. Yep. And back to the talk that I heard, she was using a specific terminology that made sense for Gen X's, and it was no cap. So she was talking about someone putting it together in a messaging platform.
Oh, is this Carol?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
she's got some good one-liners.
So it was great. I have never seen someone throw out so much Gen Z jargon in one sentence.
That's sus.
That was very sus. I was like, wow. It was interesting for me. But I took that idea and I actually texted one of my dealers and said, you know what? She was talking about saying no cap, which basically means no bullshit.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what if you took that and put that into a service ad, and instead of saying no cap, just no bullshit, it means the same thing, but there's no cap on the tire, the tire for the tire pressure.
Okay, there you go.
And no cap, we can service you. So it's the little things that
I like that.
yeah. So it makes sense for the Gen Zs, but you get it. There's no cap on the tire, so we can help service you.
Well,
and I thought it was cute.
I do. I think it's cute. I do think there. I'm all for audience-specific messaging and audience-specific content.
But don't isolate people.
Yeah, don't isolate people. It's a rabbit hole that you always got to be careful a little bit with the rabbit hole, because look, there are still messages that are relevant to regardless of the age group.
Yeah.
Now, the way you present it can be slightly different to the age group and so on and so forth. But look, everybody consistently, really, they love their time. Time is very important to them, right?
It's the only thing you can't get back.
Exactly. And it doesn't matter, regardless of what your age is, it's just, the time is a thing, and I also think convenience, that is just something that will just never die. You know, in fact, I actually find even with younger audiences, their expectations of the convenience and the speed of things is actually incredibly higher than others. But
Yeah.
yeah, but no. I think the bottom line is that, to your point, right? It's identifying the message or identifying the audience, working backwards towards the message that's going to be most relevant to them as an individual.
Yes. And building those campaigns that make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, the manufacturer gives us like incentive-based campaigns. That's something that like your manufacturer is heavily pushing out. And even if you're an independent, you don't have like the same manufacturer backing, and you have different campaigns you can put together that sometimes aren't just based on, oh, well, I've got this, this sweet incentive coming out, and I know what the manufacturer looks like, and all this other stuff. The consumer sometimes really doesn't care unless they are like, unless they like. I just literally witnessed this the other day. My employee was like asking ChatGPT, "What's the best car for me to get right now?" I'm and they said, "Pretend you're like me. I have 2 kids, and I'm blah blah blah. I work here, and should I get a lease or should I own the car?" And like they literally started asking ChatGPT this, and I said, "Hey, Katie, why are you asking ChatGPT?" "Oh, because I don't want to deal with a dealer."
I'll ask a computer, which it's some dealers that's probably better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it saves us time and overhead, and like that's something that like we also look at too. Are we actually like knowing what our cost for customer acquisition looks like when we're putting together these campaigns? But understanding that like someone within like she's 26, within that age range, is asking AI to help me make a decision prior to me looking for the vehicles is kind of shocking to me.
Well, but I also think it's an opportunity, right? Because pretty much what it says is that there's not a dealer in that market that has presented themselves as that consultative approach, meaning they just don't simply feel comfortable coming to them, right? Probably most of their marketing messages is the $250 biweekly this and the $199 this, and here's the funny thing about those marketing messages, right? I've been in the automotive industry for a long time, so I'll go to a dinner party and someone always does what? They ask you what you do for a living, right? Oh, I'm in the automotive industry. Oh, the first thing, let me tell you about the car that it's just like, it's like, okay, well, I'm sorry, I wasn't there. But
it wasn't me.
But here's one thing I find super fascinating. When I asked them, I said, "Oh yeah, well, what did you get?" I've yet to find anybody tell me I got the $250 biweekly truck.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've never seen anybody do that.
Well,
anyways,
like flip switched me at that dealer, right?
Yeah, like I bought the $678 a month vehicle. That's what I got. No, they don't do that. Anyways.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you because like that's incentive-based messaging, and that's not really like just connecting with the customer. That's not that that campaign that says I'm here for you. So that's a different type of campaign. That's brand based, and that's not manufacturer brand based. It's brand based for your dealership, because your dealership, even if you house an OEM, and Toyota, if you're hearing me, don't hate me, but I'm letting you know that like. From that perspective, you're business partners. You're not friends. You're business partners and you're not friends. You have to run your business like a business, and you have to make those meaningful and impactful connections, or you're going to lose the loyalty. You're going to lose that customer base. And that's why when I was like, Katie, like I was shocked, because like we have dealers we work with, but like it's that approachability. You want to be able to talk to your customers and be on that approachable level. But how do you do that? You do that by making sure that your message is aligned and you actually have something there that's 100%. Tangible, that actually says that. We're a human-based business, guys. You're
totally right. I mean, in fact, you if you're a dealer out there watching, listening right now, you probably are very approachable. I imagine if I do come into your dealership, you're going to love sitting down with either one of us and actually having a real conversation and grabbing a coffee and something like that. But I don't know that until I meet you, and that needs to be a part of your marketing message. Yeah. I'm with you on that one for sure.
So, my heartbeat for automotive, going back to why I'm in automotive, is because you guys are the unsung heroes. You're the ones that like day to day go through the monotony of being in retail and missing out. So you have to plan your doctor's appointments on your days off, and your days off are sometimes far and in between, and you're missing that baseball game with your kids. You're missing these certain different aspects because you were helping deliver a Corolla to Grandma June instead of, you know, being able to spend, and Grandma June's not related to you, but you feel for that family and you've provided them safety and comfort. And it's one of those messages that, like, at the end of the day, COVID actually, you know, was a kickoff for the Metro Toyota Cares initiative that we rolled out with that client, and we brought it down to like the basics, and we were going to the fire departments, bringing them lunches. We were in the community. Something that came out of that was we did a free photos with Santa for the community during Christmas time.
Well, that's being a part of the community, and just in the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just not here to pay the taxes. I'm here to actually like help, you know, inspire people and grow a connection. Yeah.
And I think that's an awesome strategy. Actually, you know, I want to get into this because I know we're getting closer to our tail end of our conversation today, but I want to pick your brain on one more thing.
Yeah.
You know, if there's one strategy, there's a lot of strategies. There's a lot of things. I mean, I think that's for everybody out there watching and listening right now, there's so much I need to do, but what would be one strategy that you would say, hey, you should take this back to your dealership and execute in the next 2 weeks?
Okay.
What would that be?
Yeah, reputation management.
Okay.
I cannot stress this enough. Your door, your showroom, your outside of your showroom, on the outside of the building itself, people need to know what the experience is, what the environment's going to look like, how you take care of your customers. With reputation management and the different outlets that you're using, you need to have an experience ready to welcome your customers. And it all starts with understanding, okay, so I need to make sure that, like, you know, I have a storefront image. I need to have an image of like the interior. I need to like be able to like have that sense of,
you got to front load them, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like our kids, you know, you got to give them as much information
Yeah.
about it before we do it.
Yeah. I don't like going places I've never been before. I do the research first. Even with Lexington here, I mean, I wanted to make sure that I knew what I was going to expect so that I could prepare. And
were you like me? Did you look up a couple of the menus of the restaurants nearby?
I'm a foodie.
I am so like that as well.
I have to make sure that I'm going to eat well,
right?
Eat well and sleep well, right?
Exactly.
So that's something that, like, you know, you need to work on reputation management. Reputation management is like going to be, it's your think of it like your Walmart greeter at your front door of your store.
Well, it gives you a pulse on the experience. And here's the thing I find fascinating with the experiences. They happen regardless if you're intentional about it or not.
Right.
So regardless, the experience is going to happen.
Yeah.
The more data that you can capture on that experience will ultimately yield you to building a better experience. So I'm with you. If, you know, and I think there's a lot of really cool new tech out there too on this.
So much so.
In fact, there was a couple of people here at the conference that I got a chance to take a look at their stuff.
But
I'm with you 100%. You know, reputation management, you know, if you haven't looked at your current strategy or you don't feel like your strategy is just solid, I'm with you. That's a strong one.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, they know what you're doing. You just said that they have a sign that says I sell cars, right? Well, you should have one that says I buy them too, but that's another conversation. But at the end of the day, like, you're selling an experience. You're selling an experience, and you're in the customer service space when you're in retail. And everybody knows that, like, there are certain places you don't want to go.
No.
There are ones that I'm like, no, I'm good. I mean, like, I looked through the reviews. I actually, like, had a personal friend that said, no, don't go there. Or even when you were saying about, like, you know, the dinner you were at, what do you do? I'm in automotive. Oh, well, that wasn't me. I didn't do, you know what I mean? Like, but, like, at the end of the day, what does your digital landscape look like, and do I want to go there?
Yes.
Do we want to go there? Do we want to have coffee with that GM, or
maybe
or do we want to pass and go to the next one that looks like more inviting and that looks like something I want to, you know, actually, like, you know, work with? But yeah, at the end of the day, that's where we're at. Reputation management is going to be your best tool that you can wield in this environment, regardless of the new strategies that are coming out. You're selling an experience, you're selling comfort, you're selling ease. I don't want, when I go into a dealership and I buy my car, I don't want to have to sit there for 3 hours. I don't, and I won't. I'm letting you know from the rip. I'm not going to, because I have my car guys. They know me. They know what I like, and I built that relationship with them because, and they're actually not a client of mine. I don't, you know, it's kind of like church and state, but they know what I do and they do it well, and that's why I purchase from them.
Always.
So
always.
Yeah, and our customers send us their friends, right? Our community. So your customer has their own community that they're building, and you want to be able to break into that and be that car guy or be that person that they can rely on to trust that they'll be taken care of. And that's what I do. I make sure that your dealership is able to have streamlined messaging, builds an experience that the communities you impact truly view you as a source of. Yeah,
it's a really good partnership.
View you as a source in that environment, in that respect. So you should be the subject matter expert. I mean, literally, you've been in business for over 20 years, or or maybe even you just started your blog,
finding a partner like you and working with you makes 100% sense. Hey, I know we're at the tail end of our conversation, but before I let you go, all right, for everybody,
this has been a fun ride, by the way.
They're always fun. I've never had a bad ride.
Did you know that you're the first person that I've ever said yes to doing a podcast?
Well,
ever.
You never forget your first.
Exactly.
But hey, for everybody out there watching and listening right now who would love to maybe connect with you and learn more about what the company does, what's the best way to connect?
Yeah, you can connect with us online, or you can email me directly at hiba@rosaceenterprises.com. I'm actually going to give out my cell phone number. It's 330-774-2102. And just so you know, I don't get knocked off. This is my brand. I'm very proud of it because I made the logo myself.
Nice. It's very cool.
Yeah. So follow me on LinkedIn. I would love to have a chat. If you can't get in touch with me directly, our guy right here, he's been driving with me for a minute, so I think he's got
we will definitely include the
digits.
contact. And I encourage you, everyone out there watching and listening, reach out to Hiba. I know she's so inviting and is just always open to having a conversation with literally every person I think I've seen walk by you. So,
and multiple languages as well. Yes. So yeah, got you.
Hey, this has been a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
It's been so much fun. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you. And thank you for watching. You guys have a great day.
Thanks for tuning in to the Strategy with Jason podcast with your host, Jason Harris. Don't want to miss new content? Be sure to check out the full podcast library at strategywithjason.com to stay in the know. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Happy podcasting.